The alarm snaps to 6:30 a.m. You look at it, and immediately a voice in your head says, "Nope, I quit." You drag yourself to the kitchen, but the coffee machine takes 2 seconds longer than usual. The voice returns, "That's it, I quit coffee." You finally leave the house, but your bus is running late. Your brain immediately escalates the situation, declaring, "Fine, I quit the bus. I guess I just live at this bus stop now." We all have these dramatic clear moments. It happens because our brains are hardwired with a bias toward comfort. From a biological standpoint, the brain interprets any minor friction in the morning routine as a threat to its energy reserves, and its immediate defense mechanism is to urge you to abandon the task. We rarely actually quit our lives on the spot over a slow coffee machine, but entertaining this reflex at every small problem, giving that voice space to negotiate, creates a habit of hesitation. It traps us in a permanent cycle of false starts, where we spend all our energy deciding whether or not to simply begin. Here is a diagram illustrating how our minds visualize ambition. We place a tiny dot, representing a person, at the base of an impossibly steep geometric mountain. When we set massive life goals, like learning a new language or changing careers, our brain models that goal as this monolithic barrier. Because the overarching objective appears so massive, any friction at the base feels lethal. When a minor daily setback tumbles down the slope, the brain points to it as undeniable proof that the entire endeavor is impossible, and we immediately retreat. This retreat puts us in a psychological purgatory. We are stuck on the fence. We aren't officially quitting our ambitions, but we are completely avoiding the accountability required to make progress. The symptoms of this paralysis are highly predictable. We complain that the situation is unfair. We doom scroll on our phones for hours to numb the disappointment. We sit around passively, waiting for a mythical day in the future when a massive wave of motivation will finally arrive and push us up the hill. Waiting for motivation to conquer the mountain is a biological trap. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions fade. Progress requires a completely different psychological mechanism, one that bypasses emotion entirely. Our culture feeds us a very specific definition of success. We picture bright lights, big stages, and sudden dramatic transformations born from massive, superhuman effort. This chart tracks effort versus time to show what happens when we rely on that dramatic energy. People make grand, emotionally charged promises, planning to dedicate hours to a new goal. The line spikes massively on day one, but within a week, the routine collapses under its own weight. Compare that to the relentless approach. Now we see a tiny, unbroken line of consistent daily effort. This represents executing absurdly small, unglamorous actions, like practicing a skill for exactly 30 seconds, every single day, regardless of your mood. By day 30, the total volume of this tiny effort easily overtakes the initial dramatic spike. Relentless individuals narrow their focus until they see nothing but the immediate task. They ignore the summit to break off and carry one tiny rock today. Lasting success is the quiet, boring refusal to stop moving once the initial excitement has vanished. To execute that daily routine, you have to utilize a specific behavioral mechanism. You make the tiny rock non-negotiable. A non-negotiable action is treated exactly like brushing your teeth. You do not hold a morning meeting in your head to debate the merits of dental hygiene. You completely remove the decision-making process, along with the opportunity to opt out. You just do it. Initiating even a tiny new habit pulls you out of your comfort zone, and it will trigger physical resistance. It feels like an uphill battle, or a sudden shock of freezing water to your system. Here is the necessary internal pivot. Instead of interpreting that cold shock as a sign that you should quit, you have to snap out of it. Recognize that feeling awkward and uncomfortable is the biological prerequisite for building strength. Stripping the emotional debate away from a daily task short-circuits the brain's reflex to quit. It allows you to build forward momentum regardless of how motivated you actually feel in the moment. When we evaluate our progress day by day, the human brain severely underestimates the compounding nature of these small behaviors over long stretches of time. Choices like drinking 1 glass of water instead of soda, walking for 5 minutes, or reading a single page of a book feel entirely useless in isolation. In the moment, your brain tells you it's too small to matter. Let's look at this grid of 100 empty squares to see the mathematical reality. As we track those tiny actions over 100 days, the squares rapidly fill in. They stack together to rewrite the individual's baseline capabilities, forming a solid foundation. At this specific threshold, you experience what is called turning a corner. The accumulation of all those tiny rocks reaches a critical mass, and the larger, long-term goal suddenly becomes visible and attainable. Meaningful life changes are engineered through the ruthless accumulation of microscopic, boring decisions. The final barrier to building this system is the noise. The constant stream of phone notifications, messages, and videos keeps our minds distracted, preventing us from realizing we're stuck in an unhelpful, repetitive rut. To break the cycle, you have to step away from the screens. Sit in 10 minutes of absolute silence. Give your true inner voice the space to honestly evaluate your current trajectory without the influence of external distractions. In that silent clarity, you can rewrite your baseline. You discard the internal story of the quitter and authorize a different path. You bring your experience, you start small, but you start today. Your challenge right now is to execute one tiny non-negotiable action. Record a 20-second voice note practicing a new skill. Write down 3 sentences about your day, or drink a single glass of water. Prove that you are the captain of your decisions and no longer a victim of friction. Being slow is acceptable. Feeling tired or confused is normal. The only way you truly fail is the exact moment you choose to stop walking.